Health authorities in South Australia are urging anyone who bought a pizza from the shop at the centre of last week's lockdown to be tested urgently after a teenage girl who was a customer at the store became infected with COVID-19. The Parafield cluster has now grown to 31 cases, with a man in his 40s testing positive yesterday, along with the high school student. Despite that, South Australian authorities will today consider easing restrictions.
The state is now the major COVID hotspot in Australia, with Victoria on the cusp of elimination. We're joined now by South Australia's Chief Public Health Officer, Nicola Spurrier. Thanks very much for your time this morning. Just tell us the latest on this teenage girl in particular. Did she contract the virus from picking up a pizza at this pizza bar? Is that established now?
So it's not absolutely certain because, of course, we're dealing with a biological system which has inherent instability, and you never can be 100% sure. But what we do know is she did go to the pizza bar. They'd pre-ordered, so she was only in the pizza bar for a short period of time and picked up a pizza on the 14th of November. And we know that there were people who were cooking pizzas and working in that pizza bar who were infectious on that day. So it's been quite a long incubation period, and her results are not absolutely clear cut, but it absolutely means to everybody in South Australia who has bought a pizza from that pizza bar, and I think it must have been a pretty popular pizza bar, pretty good pizzas. So if you have got a pizza from that pizza bar, you need to have a look at the dates on our website and get tested immediately and go into isolation.
It is a really curious situation, because there's a long incubation that you mentioned there between when she went to the pizza bar, if that's where she got it, and testing positive. But there's also this concern about how easily transmissible the virus is. Is it possible that it's transmitted from simply grabbing a pizza?
Well, absolutely, it is highly transmissible, and we also know this because of the way one of our security guards became infected in our Medi Hotel, and also it appears that through that same chain, another couple who were in the Medi Hotel have also been infected with the same strain. So it is highly transmissible, which is absolutely why I've been saying to South Australians, and of course everybody around Australia has heard these messages, that we still need to remain on high alert. We still need to be washing our hands thoroughly, staying 1.5 metres away from each other, and if symptoms occur, you simply have to get tested. We're not over this yet, not in South Australia, but also not across Australia. And I keep saying the message, and you will hear other chief health officers saying the same thing. In South Australia, we are also recommending wearing masks at the moment because although we seem to have got on top of this very quickly because we acted decisively and early here in SA, we still, I feel, are not home and hosed. And so I'm urging South Australians, particularly today with Black Friday and the sales, to be wearing masks.
Just coming back to this case, this teenage girl in particular, people who were at that pizza bar on those dates were told more than a week ago to isolate. What happened with this particular girl? She didn't isolate?
I've got quite a lot of detailed information about this young woman and her family, but I hold clinical privacy very much to heart, and I won't be providing any further details, but I can say that this young person has absolutely done the right thing. Now, not everybody is watching every piece of social media, and I appreciate that perhaps the SA Health Facebook site is not the site that everybody goes to on a daily basis, but we are making it very clear to people now that if you have purchased a pizza from that pizza bar, you need to get tested.
Yeah, but it wasn't just a Facebook site. Everyone was told if you've been to that pizza bar on those dates, you've got to isolate. I mean, we saw the Premier, he said he was fuming last week. He was furious that someone lied to contact tracers. This is a bit different, but it sounds like you've got no criticism here of someone
No,
not...
I haven't. Exactly. The amount of this young person has done absolutely the right thing. There's been minimal exposure. Her test result is not clear cut, and we have done a risk assessment in the school, and we've determined who we feel is at risk. And I have to say, we have been overly cautious in South Australia, and I have no apologies for that. We have not only had close contacts need to be in quarantine, but the contacts of close contacts, because we have been double sandbagging this whole outbreak.
So what's the go now for the rest of the school that she attends? That, I think, has been closed as of yesterday. What's your focus now? The school, I think we have got all of those details tidied up, and the parents will have that information. And we are particularly concerned about the year level, but not the rest of the school. So everybody that needs to know knows. My concern now is, of course, the rest of the South Australian community. We have enjoyed a wonderful lifestyle here in SA, and we want to get back to it very quickly. And I also have a national responsibility to keep the rest of Australia safe as well. So will there be any further easing of restrictions announced today?
I'm part of a committee, and we'll be looking at that. But obviously, when you are dealing with a virus that is novel, we don't know everything about it, and we're also dealing with human behaviour. And humans are interesting and strange in themselves, and unpredictable. What I do is look at the evidence that comes to me on a daily basis to help make those decisions.
All right, and is your view right now, just finally, that we are dealing with a different strain, as you'd indicated last week, or what's your thinking on that now?
So we know that it is, from the genomics, it's not a strain that we've had in South Australia before, because each strain has a sort of individual fingerprint, and we can look at that when we do the genomics. And we know that this has come from the UK. So there's nothing particularly special about it, except what we knew when it's come into South Australia is we had very short incubation times, and that meant it was getting passed on very quickly to other people.
All right, Nicola Spurrier, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.